Look at that up there in the top right. What's that? What's that little thing up there? Is that? Oh my god, that's a scoreboard on the in-game overlay. I'm hoping it's not too invasive. I'm hoping it's not on in the way. A lot of the times I actually don't have time to set this up before broadcast, so I've had a lot of people requesting I get back to doing this more often, more frequently, so that is what I'm going to try to do. We'll try and keep that up to date for you guys as the game goes on. As you can clearly see, though, it is the first game of the day in this best of 9 between these two teams. Spawning here, though, at the bottom left corner of the map, from Axiom Esports, it is the Blue Zerg player, Axiom's Impact. Course again. Wait, let's turn the game sounds up. Why is that so low in Korea? Anyways, of course, again, it is the best of 1 between these two players, as always for the Acer Team Story Cup. Spawning in the top left location, though, playing for Team Liquid. Hey, on this camera, there we go, Team Liquid. It is the red Protoss player, HerO. Okay, cool. Let's make sure I have all my observer things on properly. He's a rough start to the day. But Impact and HerO, I don't know. Like, I want to paint this giant picture for both of them, but I think they're both well known at this point enough to the fact where, honestly, I could just sit back, relax, and you guys could enjoy the game. One of the big things for HerO, of course, big accomplishment, you know, DreamHack winner, not once, but a couple times. And he's not too bad either at this game. He's a really, really, really good Protoss player to watch. Impact, not too shabby. Didn't quite get a DreamHack win, but has had really good results in the Acer Team Story Cup. And this goes all the way back to Season 2. I remember when Axiom picked up Impact, they weren't able to play him for this first couple weeks, and I was like, ooh, they finally got a Zerg player. Really excited to see how he goes. And I remember like the first week, he was really good. He impressed me a lot, and now we get a chance to see him shine here against some of the best players that Team Liquid has to offer. And again, I want to just state this, like, honestly, this is like equivalent to me of like a finals match between these two teams. I mean, this could very well, misskip with the drone, that's awkward, have been the finals of the Acer Team Story Cup as far as you guys know, because these guys are like the best. Now granted, that's not statistically correct at the moment. Team Liquid is currently number 2, tied with Mouse Sports for wins and losses at the moment, but due to map score, they're number 2 at the moment, and Axiom currently sits up at number 4 with 5-3 as their overall score. Ooh, Impact's playing this really greedy. I don't know if it's because of the map or because he's worried about the scout that he missed twice in a row. Talk about the greed here in a second, but it's really cool because for Team Liquid, this is just another notch, right? At this point, like, they could lose this, and they could still probably finish top 4 with relative ease. For Axiom, though, this match matters a lot. They don't have a lot of games left to play in the season. In fact, I think this is one of their last couple. And if they lose this, they'll have to rely on other teams doing poorly in order to secure their top 4 finish, and that's not something you ever want to be, not a position you ever want to find yourself in. So best of luck, of course, goes to Axiom today. I think they need it just a little bit more. The wins, that is, not the luck necessarily. Now, talk about the greed here real quick. It is Ultra Team Stronghold, and I've been a big fan of players who take this earlier third, be it Terran, Protoss, Zerg, Zerg, of course, more so than the others. And a big part of this is because the faster you mine out this third, the more safe your natural will be later on. But Impact, actually, I just realized, hasn't done this in that order. He went natural, then third. But he still did this as greedy as possible because it was before the pool. So I don't think he's going to suffer for not having anything to deal with the Zealot, but this poke is a bit awkward and a bit unexpected for sure. A very fast Twilight Council comes down, though. Ooh, I'm wondering... You just don't see Blink on this map. Oh, nice drone pull, by the way. Look at Impact right now. He's going to take on a Zealot with drones and take no losses? Oh, he lost the drone that he had scouting, so I missed first blood. But nope, just kidding, hang on.
First blood.
Okay, we'll pretend that was the case. But, yeah, this is, I can't imagine this is going to be Blink on Ultra Zoom. Not unless he's going to go heavy gateway aggression with Stalkers. But when you do that, you normally pair it up with upgrades, and there's no Forge in sight. So, my guess is one of two things. One, and this is more likely, maybe DTs, he's fully walling this off by the looks of it. I believe it's fully walled up, I'm actually not sure. No, but it is going to be Blink. Okay, so hang on. I was going to talk a little bit about the DTs and get excited about it because it's something I thought would actually really work well. Impact's lair is going to be so heavily delayed, and he's not going to have a... Oh, it's not fully walled off. He's not going to have Spore Crawlers down out of Paranoia unless he scouts a Stargate. Now, with the Mothership Core DPS combined with the Stalker, he'll drive these back no problem, but Blink is a very odd choice to me. I mean, on one hand, there's a lot of terrain you could abuse with Blink, especially around here in the third. You know, start attacking behind the middle line, Blink up to the main, back and forth. But, I don't know. This is something that is really good for gateway aggression, and is a lot better paired for upgrades. If this hits early enough, then maybe this just gets some retention use instead of aggressive use. What I mean by that is, of course, if you guys have seen it before, you pluck back the weak Stalkers one at a time and place them in safety zone behind the others. if that's gonna be the case, then maybe this will work out a little bit better for HerO. But I mean, if you guys have never seen it, there are a lot of like 7-gate all-ins that work without blink, with upgrades. This could just be another variation of that. Still waiting to see if extra gateways come down. Okay, so that's 3 so far, 4, sorry, as this new one comes down. 4 gates off 2 bases is fine. We're gonna have 5. I don't know, you don't really, would he go 7? He's going 6. The reason I'm questioning the gateway count, by the way, guys, is because off of 2 bases, you can only afford so much production. I mean, you could throw down 19 gates, and be like, ooh, 19 gateways, no way. But that doesn't mean you can produce from all 19 gateways, right? So the idea I give for like a lot of Protoss is you kind of sit around 6 if you're going to be like content with just like your aggression. Seeing 7 or 8 kind of locks it into a very all-in scenario, because that's a lot of minerals you put into those extra gateways that you're not going to be able to do too much else with. And quite frankly, Impact may be in for a bit of trouble. Speedlings are typically good versus Stalkers in the first place. This is why you often don't see a lot of Stalkers made like this. This is why you have Sentries paired with them. But it's the fact that he's going to have Blink that allows him to basically escape the clutches of a Zergling, much less, 40 Zerglings, that's going to make this so interesting to watch. Now he's left this unguarded. There's about 5 Lings that are going to get in there and do a counterattack. If they can do enough damage to the probes... Oh, they get right by that gateway. Of course, there's going to be some Zealots warped in for defense, but I mean, that's only going to be in a moment's time. So a couple of these probes are going to go down. Very smart to go for the gas mighty ones first here. Stalkers are pretty gas heavy, but HerO, of course, has a lot of gas banked up. He hasn't spent a lot on these Stalkers. I shouldn't say gas heavy. Stalkers are just in general expensive, if we're going to be quite frank and honest. But he's losing a lot of probes to this, and he hasn't even begun his attack on the other side of the field. Impact has so many Zerglings out and available, and I believe he scouted that Twilight Council. No, he still has not scouted the Twilight Council, but he has seen the excessive amount of gateways. So for Impact right now, killing these probes is pretty much the #1 most important thing. He catches some Stalkers here in the middle of the map, forces a recall even. It says, Impact, you gonna get aggressive against me? I don't think so. Now, there's no way for him to get into the base, and HerO's actually fully walled himself in here, which is nice. If these Lings run up the ramp, it's a huge waste of time, as the Stalkers will just kill them infinitely behind this, but the Stalker count's way too low. We got an Infestation pick coming up, and quite frankly, guys, I don't think this is going to be for the Swarm Host. A lot of you see this kind of moan and groan. More likely than not, this is going to be for Fungal Growth, specifically because of the Blink. Again, Blink itself, like Blink in and of itself is not that crazy, but Fungal Growth, while it doesn't do as much damage as it did in Wings of Liberty, it can still crush sentries if you throw enough of them on them. It can still do a lot of damage to the Stalkers, but more importantly, hold them in place. Now, they're still piling down here for HerO, so he's not completely locked into his own. He's bringing a probe to put more pylons down on the front lines too, but for Impact, he gets right on top of the Stalkers again, and Lings, they're not a direct counter to Stalkers per se, but if you've got enough of them, and that's the whole point of Lings, you get a lot of one type of unit. They can get surrounds off, they can do a lot of damage. We got Burrow coming on the way for Roaches. I was really hoping to see the Pathogen Glands upgrade come out right away, but it looks like he's not going to go straight to Infestors. Looking to rely on a lot of Spine Crawlers and some Roaches behind these Zerglings. Now, there are Force Fields with this army this time. This is what makes this a drastically different composition. There's some Zealots in this too to buffer, but he gets on top of the Force Fields right away. HerO late with the Force Fields. Oh, did I say Force? Well, he gets on top of the Sentries. Either way, Force Fields no longer available. This is going to be really harsh because these Lings have got nothing to stop them. There's not going to be anything to keep the Roaches at bay. Quite frankly, Impact's army supply is out of control in comparison, and while HerO is getting a pylon down in the front lines, the army value he has, it's not something that can take this on. Big surround gonna go off once again. We got some Roaches in the fray. The Queen's eventually gonna take out the Mothership Core. Maybe. I say with a question mark. Either way, it doesn't really matter because the ground forces are starting to overwhelm. Now, a lot of Zealots just warped in. Sadly, they don't have charge though, so connecting to these Roaches will not be the easiest thing in the world. Galil Reconstitution, not done yet. No speed for these Roaches, but the Mothership Core goes down. The Queen has 5 health, and there's too many Spine Cores, too many Roaches. HerO has no tech behind this. This is about as all in as is gonna get out of our red Protoss player. He lost so many probes behind this too, and never tried to replenish them. The last couple Stalkers he has in play, okay, those might get away, but there's Pathogen Glands finally on the way. We are going to see Fungal Growths. We are going to see Infestors if the game even gets to that point. Hell, we've got a Hive coming up too. This gets better and better for Impact as time goes on because HerO doesn't have any upgrades. Going straight for Blink, I don't know if it was the Lings catching him in the middle of the map, but the small like 6 Ling counterattack, whatever the case may have been, Blink just did not work out for him in this attack. Now, granted, he is kind of baiting HerO to fight, or sorry, Impact to fight far away from where his reinforcements are, but even then, there's nowhere really left for these Stalkers to blink to. They'll blink off the cliff into Oblivion, into Suicide Roaches, push them against the wall. This is the end of HerO's army. Good control coming to HerO, but not good enough because Impact will lock down game #1 in the favor of Axiom.